It was perfect, but no, you just had to blow it up. You and your pride and your ego. You just had to be the man. If you'd done your job, known your place, we'd all be fine right now.
I'll create an empire, make enough caps to retire, and then I'll spend the rest of my days with a bottle of bourbon by the pool, awaiting the final sweet kiss of death as I'm counting my profits. For that, I just need to do what I've been destined to. The goddamn best! Let's cook. And this challenge was recommended by my friend the Brickmaker, who also does follow challenges, so it's only fitting to have him go over the rules.
Hey guys, it's the Brickmaker here, ready to lay out the rules for the new K-On! Tales Water White run. First off, in combat you can only use explosive and guns. For number 2, you can only wear clothes that would fit the Walter White character. Number 3, companions are not allowed. 4, no VATs. And 5, chems cannot be used, only sold to fit the character. Good luck, K-On! Tales, and everyone enjoy the video.
Thank you, and so, can you beat Fallout New Vegas as Walter White? A tickle to the brain and a weird dream later in the career now believes to be Heisenberg. I like to tailor the stats to the run and the skills and traits to the character, so for the stats, I'm gonna go with 10 in luck and intelligence, 7 perception, 5 endurance, 4 strength, 3 agility, and 1 in charisma. His best skills are explosives, science, and repair, and the traits that seem most fitting are 4 Eyes and Wild Wasteland. As for our weapons and apparel, in the show the guns Walter used were pistols, revolvers, and SMGs. So I'll be limiting myself to those. He also used poisons and explosives, but I won't be using throwables, so poisons out. And in terms of explosives, I'll only be using things that I can craft, throw, or plant. Basically, grenade, missile, and mini-nuke launchers are out. And in terms of outfits, pre-war casual wear, reading glasses, and pre-war hats make for the perfect fit. Just like radiation suits and scientist apparel. Going through Doc Mitchell's house got me a really good start. Steam packs, the clothes I wanted, some materials to craft future chems and explosives. I even repaired the 9mm submachine gun and crafted the first chems of the run. So, with the glasses and hat on as well, I set out to see the sun for the first time in 2 weeks. And the first thing I do is to thank Victor, not just for digging me up, but also cause his shack is gonna be an extremely safe place to storage items. And if I want to go to hoover them with top-notch crafted explosives, I'm gonna need a ton of junk. And so the hoarding commences. I went to every single mailbox, all the houses. Got that sneak skill book, and in the general store I traded in the things I don't have a use for a shovel and another hat. We're looking good, baby! Going up the hill I see Victor, dead. There's no enemies around. The red scorpion and the bloodflies only spawn in after the tutorial. I have no clue what happened here. Just like I have no idea which challenge you'd like to see next, so let me know in the comments, and may the best idea win, cause I'll pay close attention to the top comments. In the cemetery I found ammo, a snow globe, visited the old apartment for butts, and got me a couple tin cans. The vent ones are useless, by the way. It also seems that Trudy's got a whole moonshine operation going on, and in the saloon,
Cheyenne steak.
Sonny gives us a couple bobby pins, a locksmith's magazine, and offers to teach us the basics. I'm more interested in hacking instead of lockpicking. Not that either would make sense for a chemistry teacher, but hey, science! Oh, and for some reason, no one cares if you steal the revolver from the saloon or anything else, really. And while I won't be shooting down geckos, I did follow through with the target practice, since that's enough for the tutorial to be over, and Joe Mama's done being nice.
I'm done being nice.
I then repaired Trudy's radio, not to help her, just to flex. And in the schoolhouse, I got me that sweet stealth boy. Next up, the gas station, where Ringo's holed up because of the whole powder ganger thing. What he doesn't know is that that's not my problem. I just really need to loot. And cracking up a safe gets me to level 2. I distribute the points between science and repair, since we'll need both to craft, and I took the Swift Learner perk. A couple coyotes later, and Good Springs Cave is throwing a ton of energy weapons my way. But nope, can't use them. Not that Walter wouldn't, All the man cares about is getting his way. For him, the end will always justify the means. And that's partially why I went with luck 10. Breaking Bad's not about things going wrong time and time again. It's about Walter not being careful about what he wishes for. Cause remember, by the end, the cancer went into remission. He became the #1 cook. Filthy rich. Even his demise came at the expense of getting what he wanted. To save Jesse. After completely fucking up Jesse's life. So, after the Devil's Gullet and the abandoned shack, the Weather 10mm proved once again to be more than enough to face the animals of the Mojave. The Rat Scorpion didn't stand a chance. I got an incinerator to sell later, and on the way to Sloan, the game keeps throwing energy weapons down my throat.
Hold up. There are death claws all over the damn place north of here.
Well, good thing that I won't be going north. Wouldn't be very 50-year-old high school chemistry teacher of me to go parkour hills between deathclaws, would it? Although, that's giving me a great idea for later, and then comes Malcolm fucking Holmes. With the audacity to let me know he's been stalking me. Walter wouldn't have shot him, so I begrudgingly let him go. And here's Snuffle, she's a cutie. I healed her leg, repaired their generator, again not to be nice, just cause I can. Science, bitch! I then stole the 2 skill books they had laying around, and oh, so much more, like the 6 pulse grenades, the money in the donation boxes, and more tin cans.
Let me ask you a question.
No, let me ask you a question. What's the best damn thing you've ever cooked? And did you make it blue for style? Yaz Wilkins wants a Deathclaw egg, and I do the cooking around here, so fine. I'll find a way to parkour between Deathclaws. Later though, in the machine shop, I got a ton of miscellaneous items. Chomps then thanked me for both patching up Snuffles and the generator. We got some NCR fame and money for it. Can't have them realizing my master plan and 2 trips to Victor's shack later, and I've decided to use the oven for my stash. My cook stash. On the way to the NCR correctional facility, a pack of wolves just stared at me. And in one of the trailers, I found some more casual wear that I'll use for later repairs. At the gate, Dawes rips me off for 100 caps. I can enter the facility, but without any security guarantees. And the reason I'm here is because there's a little something in the cell block B. Past Carter, on the first locked cell to the left, there's schematics. To craft powder charge. And more tin cans everywhere, couple explosives too. Going back south, near Gene skydiving, I made sure to get some more dynamite from the explosives crate and looted the place. I then went to the nearest campfire to check something, and when Barth and Thorne told me the story of the century, we hit level 3. I rounded up repair, up the explosives, told Barton to fuck off, went past Indiana Jones, and used the 5-finger discount on Cobb to get another stealth boy. Chat in the oven said hi, and on the way to Prim, powder gangers kept having Helen Keller levels of perception. In Lone Wolf Radio, I got a Wasteland Survival Guide, some more tech, tin cans, and an NCR trooper warns us that Prim's been taken over by escaped convicts. After disabling the smallest minefield I've ever seen, I discovered that the convicts are pretty shit at using explosives. Compared to the great Heisenberg, these petty, shoddy, lousy idiots need to see how it's done. I did almost blow up my arm in the process, true, but that's what stimpaks are for, and they learned their lesson. For some reason though, Courier 4, Daniel Wyant, was nowhere to be seen. I didn't even fight near him. This makes no sense. Is this run haunted? First Victor, now this? Anyways, in the Viking Vance Casino we got to meet the townsfolk. Heading away from the convicts, we learned that Johnson Nash is the head of the Mojave Express, and that Deputy Beagle, who has been taken hostage, has apparently seen the man that attacked us. I found some cams to sell later, and I fixed Prim Slim's memory, cause I can. Science! Next up, the Bison Steve Hotel. We've got a rescue to do. A frag takes care of the first convict, and then the other sprints to me as if his life depended on it. Unfortunately for him, he quickly discovered that I have a 9mm submachine gun with plenty of ammo to keep it company. A couple holes later, and I don't have enough lockpicking to get lucky from the safe. I also don't need to tackle these guys head on, so I made my way through the maintenance store, timed my run, and saved the holotape. Then I ran. It seems the convicts are keeping the deputy alive, and I fail to see where any of this is my problem. Made a run for it, got out of Prim, and avoided the jackals and the red scorpions by going through Ivampa Dry Lake. A traveling merchant bought things I don't need, and I reached the Mojave Outpost. One of the things that I very much want for the endgame is Nuka Quartz. Because fat mines. Lacey and the other folk didn't think it was suspect for me to go behind the counter, and there's something else around here that's gonna really improve our fits. So, in Crescent Canyon, it's time to face some golden geckos. I got to level 4, kept improving explosives, and took the educated perk. Midway through the canyon, as I'm doing a DIY radiation treatment to make sure Walter's cancer doesn't come back, there it is. An advanced radiation suit. It has 6 damage thresholds. That's 6 more than the casual wear has. I also found some combat armor, but I cannot wear that. As I got close to Nipton, I saw Thomas and Jacqueline having a gunfight. He thought she had been flirting with him, but he got it all wrong. She did want to fuck him up for his star caps, and now she's dead. And since I'm here, might as well go to Jackrabbit Springs to grab yet another stealth boy. Cause those I can use. They are not addictive unless you're a Nightkin, and most importantly, military devices are not chems. And who won the lottery? He did. I kept on being a hoarding fiend, so much so that it started to bore me, and went on to meet Vulpes. It's always funny to see him being so serious talking about degenerates as he using that thing on his head, on a post-nuclear wasteland. You do you, I guess, but I take him up on his offer, and went back to the Mojave Outpost to let Sergeant Kilborn know that Nipton's now a ghost town. He's really gloomy about it.
No way.
I got my easy XP, finished looting up Nipton, and hit level 5. More points to explosives, and I used the path the Legion uses to avoid the ambush, the bark scorpions, and the grenade launcher guy around here. Got to Wolfhorn Ranch, got Chopper, and in Camp Searchlight. First, Sergeant Astor warns us that the town's currently cosplaying as a microwave. I took one of their 10mm submachine guns and began my second radiation treatment. It's always a bit awkward to run from enemies in New Vegas. It just doesn't feel that I'm being fast enough, even though the ghoul troopers won't lay a finger on me. Finally, I reached the Eastern Church basement, and whereas running from the troopers was just not to soak rads, I really don't want to get into a fight with these geckos. Eventually, I get the 3 beautiful holy frag grenades that are religiously safe to use against Lanius. And once I'm outside, I make a beeline to Cottonwood Cove. The Legion Explorer catches up to me, so I tell him that I'm a friend of the Legion, because I know how to lie. They put Anders on a cross for smuggling chems. Yeah, no. As far as I'm concerned, they are Heisenberg's biggest enemy. But hey, remember Zaz Wilkins wanting to cook a Deathclaw omelet? There should be a couple eggs in the promontory. It's not like I'll have to fight the equivalent to 3 quarry junctions. No, seriously, I won't. Cause I'm gonna press the little red button on a stealth boy and pray the RNG's with me. Now Deathclaw by the entrance is a really good sign. Oh fuck, never mind, there's one right there. Okay, step 2, we turn right. Lay low and pray that it gets stuck on a rock or something. I'm still alive, so I'm assuming it did. Let's throw in a cheeky quick save, and after getting to the southernmost point, I'm gonna go east until I see lizards, and the trick is to stand on the hill. That's it. I'm not done or safe yet though, but as you can see, their pathing AI becomes extremely confused, so now I wait. Until I think it's safe to grab their eggs, and then I go! Oh fuck, I'm over encumbered. Should have gone back to the shack, and in no time a Deathclaw got to me. The stealth boy, it wore off, so I pop another one. Get me the eggs, one of which had a collision party but fortunately didn't get too far, and once I'm making the descent into the lake, I know I've done it. Good. Some inventory management later, and I ask Doc Mitchell to heal my rat poisoning, and then I go back to Miss Wilkins.
I can't believe you actually got one.
We learn another recipe. It's not Gil's coffee, but it's pretty neat. I fast travel to Sniper's Nest, and from here we need to get to Novak. I pass through Ranger Station Echo, attracted too much attention from the fire geckos near Lucky Jim's mine, and then luckily for me, my submachine gun now has 1 round. Near to Catticup Mine, we get back on paved road, and Private Reynolds needs some help because his squad got captured. So, I told him it was his own fault and that he should take care of it.
There's no way I can take on the Legion by myself.
Oh, but if I helped, you could. I'll stick to helping myself. In Nelson, a Legion Explorer forces me to go on and meet his Decanas, Dead Sea. There's a couple fun lines here. He states that the Legion's mere presence demoralizes the enemy. In return, we can ask, how demoralizing can it be to be left alone? We can also throw some further salt upon his wounds, which makes Dead Sea an extremely fitting name. But alas, by calling the situation a stalemate, he pretty much invites us to attack Camp Forlorn Hope by ourselves, and you know what? That does sound like fun. But first, I got a couple other things I'd like to do. Ranger Milo interrupts us on the way to Novak, I ignore him, and guess who's back?
Well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit.
You're a biscuit. Totally. In the Dino Delight front desk, I rented the room for 100 caps. After getting the key, the Cosmos told me that I should get another one to keep it company, so I stole Jeannie Mae's safe key. Got the bill of sale that tells us that bitch sold Boone's wife, and I got another skill magazine from Ranger Andy's bungalow. In the Dinobite gift shop, I got that gun. And since it's daytime, Manny's doing his guard shifts. I want to know where Benny went. He knows but won't tell me, unless I do a long quest on a video that's already going to be long enough. Now, I could just steal his holotape, but I'm gonna reverse pickpocket some dynamite instead. And see what happens if I leave before it explodes. And apparently, nothing. Nothing happens if you leave before it explodes. Well, you get -1 dynamite. That does happen. So I did the thing again, got the holotape, and now I know that our next stop's gonna be Boulder City. But let's wait till nightfall. Boone doesn't seem to mind his new rug, and upon realizing that we're not from here, he goes over the extremely sad story of Carla, his wife. Long story short, because she was pregnant and was sold to the Legion, my man did what he does best, and he turned one shot into a double kill. The game doesn't let me give him the bill of sale just yet, so I wore his beret, as that was to signal him that I found who did it. Jeannie Mae got what she deserved. And I've got an extremely good reason to do Dead Sea's quest in Camp Forlorn Hope. You see, I, Walter White, need a cam lab. The Great Khans have one, and I, as the courier, can become the Great Khan's heir if I 1. Do this quest, and 2. Become at least liked by the Khans. This also means that, and this is all hypothetically of course, if one were to slip a couple explosives into a certain chieftain's pants at the right point in time, Heisenberg would be leading the biggest chem operation in the whole of the Mojave. Now, for the quest, we don't really need to destroy the entire camp, only 4 people. Dr. Richards, Major Palatli, Tech Sergeant Reyes, it seems no one cares. Lovely. And lastly, Quartermaster Mays. Ooh, they care now. Okay, time for me to go. Once the NCR stopped chasing me, level 6 came around. I got explosives to 100 and took the Mad Bomber perk. New recipes! Back to Dead Sea, and he's so impressed that he gifts us his blade, the Liberator. I could have declined, but might as well just sell it later. Past Novak, I traded with Old Lady Gibson and approached Helios 1. Lieutenant Haggerty's too keen in letting us in, but through the power of science we can convince her that we know a thing or two, and could be helpful to them.
No need.
To which she replies they already have an expert.
Then again, our expert is an idiot. Hell, he might as well be a saboteur. I guess you couldn't do any worse.
Fantastic.
Who the hell are you? They bring you in to replace me? They're replacing me, aren't they?
Yup.
Shit, man! I need this. Gotta pay the bills. And I'm addicted to a lot of different kinds of chems. I mean a lot.
So, what do you do exactly?
Everything. I push buttons, I turn dials, I read numbers. Sometimes I make up little stories in my head about what the numbers mean. Like one time I imagined they were a code to get into a vault full of naked women. Man, how cool would that be?
Depends on whether they'd be around my age or my grandparents' mates. How did you get the job?
It was easy, man. They were going door to door asking if anyone knew any scientists. I said look no further. They asked me if I knew anything about power plants. I said as much as anyone I had ever met. They asked me how well I understood theoretical physics. I said I had a theoretical degree in physics.
Anyways, I turned him into a puzzle, cause he's got a scientist outfit. And then I kinda did the same thing to the Lonesome Drifter, cause the Mysterious Magnum's a revolver, and I like guitars.
Here to pay your respects too?
No.
The fuck are you doing? My brother died at the Battle of Hoover Dam. You're desecrating a war memorial.
You're a little bitch and your brother was too. Private Kowalski got sent to a family reunion, and in the Bighorn Saloon, I found some more Nuka quartz. As for Lieutenant Monroe, he's got a situation with the Great Khans that ambushed us alongside Benny, and I offered to help them out.
That courier Benny wasted back in Good Springs. You're supposed to be dead.
He goes on to explain that Benny betrayed them, and that's enough to get me to level 7. I put the points into guns and dynamite into Jessup and his buddy's pants. With a couple new goodies, I may have completely forgot that I was gonna need good reputation with the Khans, but that's a problem for future me to figure out. I trusted the NCR to deal with their own problems, left, and through the 188 trading post, I kept going until I was at Camp Golf, cause in the house resorts, we find more Nuka quartz and combat armor that I sold in the 188. Going north, as I'm passing through Cassidy Caravan Wreckage, the NCR Ranger Squad shows up with an ultimatum.
You've got 3 days to improve your reputation with the NCR, or we come for you. Without all this pleasant conversation.
Maybe I should have done Camp Forlorn Hope at a later stage. I am not ready for this fight. But the show must go on, so I got some map markers along the way. The NCR Sharecropper Farm, Camp McCarran, the El Rey Motel, level 8 comes up. I put the points into guns and get the first out of 3 ranks of the Demolition Expert perk. As for Fiend territory, I hear some of them engaging with the NCR, but our goal is to reach Red Rock Canyon. The Fiends are pretty easy to outrun as long as you've got a couple steam packs, so I quickly get to the Khans. First, I made sure to get the turbo and medics that they had laying around, and then I go to their lab, where Jack and Diane have a couple things for us to do. Diane tells us about Anders. One of her best runners has gone missing. He's in a pickle. Well, he's on a cross. But yeah, I'll be rescuing him. As for Jack, through 350 science skill checks, we can teach him a couple recipes. Slasher, party time mentats, and rockets. We got some Great Khan fame. I'm already regretting not helping Jessup back in Boulder City. And for some reason, teaching them the recipes also gives us good karma. Okay. I then stole some chems from them, cause that's my thing. I sell the chems. Ideally, I craft them too, but if I can have the whole operation under me, that's just the same thing with less butts and mashing. And it's time to go find Anders. He's right outside of Cottonwood Cove. I get him down, he'll find his way back, and in a gesture of good faith towards the NCR, I make my way to the Cove and steal the Legion patrol notes. In Searchlight, Aster is delighted to get the intel, but we're not done. He also wants to plant a bug in the Legion's radio, so I go back, do the thing, and Aster's quite happy about it.
Well, this is more than I could have hoped for. Almost seems too good to be true, but the details are all here.
We get some NCR fame, not enough, mind you, but the over 500 experience points make up for that. Back to Diane, and with Anders back, our rewards can either be caps or the recipe to craft turbo. Turbo, please. Our second task is to deliver a mildly suspicious package to Don Hostetler at the Crimson Caravan. We're now accepted by the Khans, and from the Sharecropper Farm I make my way to the Gunrunners, but I don't have enough caps yet for a little something. So I go to the Crimson Caravan, find Don, and that's done. I then had the bright idea of going to the Wind's hideout, the Mojave's Bonnie and Clyde impersonators that stole Vance's submachine gun from the Viking Vance Casino a bit of dynamite later, and turns out they don't give you the key to the safe where the submachine is if you kill them. Couldn't find the bloody thing anywhere, so I simply gave up and went back to Diane. For the final task, we're going into the Fiend's HQ, Vault 3. On the way, I go to the Khan's armory, where I can buy another advanced radiation suits for future repairs. And then...
So last day on Earth, huh?
Already? What? And then they aggro on a fire gecko that I did not see coming. And that's when I have a great idea. Dynamite giveaways! The first 2 rangers were easily taken care of. The third didn't seem to mind becoming the squad's new leader, and the fourth had gone so far back that I had to go after him, except out of nowhere he started running towards me. But hey, we are not in combat. He was just jogging. And so the NCR squad is no longer a worry, unless they send another one, of course. Couple fire geckos later, and that gun takes down that bitch. This puts me at level 9, I keep improving guns, reunite Violetta with Violets, and find some more Nuka quartz. Now, regarding the Fiends. If you wear the Great Khan's jacket that Diane gave you, the ones inside Vault 3 will not attack you. The same cannot be said about any fiends outside Vault 3. So I put the disguise on and run through the idiot's camp until I'm in.
This is what I've been waiting to see. A big bad Khan bringing in the medicine. How about you toss some psycho my way?
We can give her an attitude check simply by asking if Motor Runner knows that she wants a little something on the side.
No need.
And as for Motor Runner, we get to meet him without any confrontation within the vault. It's just a delivery. He gets the highly suspicious package, and he's paying 20 caps each for any jet, psycho, or buff out that I have. So I sold him every bit of it that I had. And then I had to run and heal a bit more. Back to Diane, and our reward is a new unarmed technique. The con trick. That concludes Abba Dabba Honeymoon, and I am still not liked by the cons. Well, guess it's time to go south. In Bonnie Springs, it's that gun against the Vipers. The leaders go down. The gunslingers were never the problem. And here's where the challenge begins. Not only do I have to avoid the cazadors, but I have to sneak my way through more than a dozen Deathclaws. Wouldn't be the first time, so let's repeat the strategy. I activate my last stealth boy and stressfully, oh so stressfully, reach the Great Khan encampment atop Quarry Junction. Over here we meet Melissa. She's awaiting a delivery that's not gonna show up, so it's our job to make it happen. And in Sloane's mining office, we find a suitcase with nothing on it. We can ask Chomps about it, and he tells us that the delivery didn't happen because of the Deathclaws, but because the supplier, Tyrone, won't deliver, even though they paid him in advance. Now, why is Chomps helping Melissa, you ask?
She's my daughter.
As for Tyrone, turns out he's an NCR trooper, and the supplies that he's stealing from the NCR to sell to the cons have begun attracting more and more suspicion. He wants more money. I don't like shakedowns, so we'll be going with dynamite. And so I took the supplies, got them to Melissa, and we're finally liked by the cons. Time to meet the higher-ups. Carl's the Legion's emissary, a useless prick that will kick out soon enough. Reggie's is the second in command. He wouldn't mind signing with the NCR instead of the Legion despite Bitter Springs, which was completely deserved. Even if it wasn't intended, the cons got no more than they've dished out to common folk. Lastly, Papa Khan, the chieftain, to whom we ask to break their allegiance with the Legion. He's not gonna do that out of nowhere simply because we asked nicely though. As we're leaving, Regis comes to us and explains that while Papa is stubborn, he's not a tyrant. That if we convince Jack, Diane, and Melissa, Papa Khan will listen to us, since Regis already agrees with us. And since we've helped all of them already, it's just a matter of asking them. Melissa is shocked to discover that Carl left out a tiny detail. Women are not permitted to serve in the Legion.
What do you mean aren't allowed to serve?
It seems that she doesn't want to become a babysitter whose major purpose would be to breathe. Yeah, no wonder. As for Jack and Diane, they do not need convincing. Putting Anders, a con, on a cross for smuggling chems. When that's their thing, yeah, no wonder. And the final piece of the puzzle is Carl's journal, which is right there for the taking.
I understand you dealt the NCR a crushing defeat at Forlorn Hope. I hope that trend continues. That's why I've made a decision. I'm naming you my heir. When I die, leadership of the Great Khans will pass to you.
I accept. Hey Papa, look at this.
Holy shit!
It's time to make it official. Regis, who am I?
You're the chief now.
Goddamn right.
What do we do?
We'll go to Hoover them and fight for it ourselves. I promised an empire, and I'll get it. This got me to level 10, and I took the second demolition expert perk. Next up, Free Scythe. I ask Mick to repair my suit, and a thug tries to mug me. So I show him what happens to people that mess with Heisenberg. Approaching the strip's north gate, has Old Ben warn us about the cop check. I have more than enough money. As for the squatter, it seems he didn't even have rights, as it should be, and Victor said,
"Howdy, partner!"
May as well go into Gomorrah now, since all that I'll need from them is to meet their greeter. Oh, and Billy's got jokes.
A ghoul goes to a doctor and says, Doctor, I have this horrible rash. The doctor says, son, that's called your face. Ding dong.
I never said they were good jokes. Anyways, I got the free magazines, and in the Ultralux I met with Mortimer and Marjorie. That's 3 out of the 5 tribes we'll need to meet, the other 2 being the Brotherhood and the Boomers, so to the tops. Where I immediately go to Swank and explain to him that it would be really goofy for the chairman to let Benny ruin their casino gig. He realizes that. Mr. House is gonna be pissed when he finds out that Benny's the one that stole the platinum chip. So he gives me the key and the green light to investigate Benny's room. Over there, we find a whole Securitron that cannot say no. Yes Man lays out every single detail of Benny's plan, and Swank's not too pleased about the Securitron in the 13th floor either. Meanwhile, I decided to confront Benny in person.
What in the goddamn?
He doesn't want to talk in public, so he comes us with the presidential suite. Obviously that's gonna lead to a no-show, followed by an ambush. But that is what I wanted from the start. That gun absolutely demolishes his bodyguards. Benny's gone, I get to level 11, points to guns, and once outside, it's Vulpes that shows up. Kaisar would like to meet, and we are told that Benny's likely making haste to Fortification Hill. So I accept the invitation, and with enough money on my pocket, I spend all of it on Sleepy Time, a unique 10mm submachine gun. And when I went back to Victor's shack, he's alive and unwell. Okie dokie. After doing my inventory management, I went to Sloan and made my way through the Hidden Valley, destroying all the Arc Scorpions and Centaurs that were in my way. At the bottom of the crater, a Brotherhood patrol has succumbed to radiation, I assume, cause if they were defeated by the sad slugs, not an ounce of respect can be given to them. With the password to their bunker on hand, I went on to the right bunker, and they didn't even let me say the line to get in. Cause a paladin has been watching us, and things aren't gonna go my way. I'm forced to strip to my cheeks, they don't even let me keep my glasses, and we're presented to the Elder. McNamara's actually got a job for us, to deal with an NCR Ranger on their behalf. They've given me my possessions back, but they included a little gift. I now have an explosive collar around my neck. One would assume that enough science could be enough to disarm it, but I didn't see an option to. What I did see was Dobson react to the dynamite stick that I planted on his pants. I also smacked his radio. The room threw some karma my way. I took a nap and went back to the Elder.
How do you know he won't be missed? That other Rangers won't come looking for him? Or NCR patrols?
I don't. That's what you get for putting that collar around my neck. Idiot. And then he just allows me to leave, so yeah, bye! But not without looting the best items they have laying around. The Vendertron gives me almost 4,000 caps for it. And I start making my way towards Nelly's. A couple raw hamburgers were tenderized, and here comes George. The boomer that's not really part of the boomers. He wants to make a bet. But he's so forgetful, I got tired of only realizing that I forgot to come back for my caps in editing, so yeah, dynamite. Then comes the bombardment. To survive it, I'm just gonna run through the left hill using Steampucks and Dr. Bags as need be. The gate guy's in disbelief. Raquel says Mother Pearl wants to talk to us and Pearl's completely delusional.
I've been waiting a good 5 years for an outsider to come along and visit.
Did you forget to tell that to the others? There's corpses on your backyard, ma'am. Anyways, to repay the trauma they just gave to a 50-year-old high school chemistry teacher with cancer and a peculiar side job, I have decided to be extremely thorough in looting every single item of value. Combat armors, plenty of explosives, I even got their snow glue, a fuck ton of ammo, fun the stealth boy, several missile launchers, and even more combat armors. I even brought Mr. Cuddles to Lindsay, cause why not? And then the selling spree began. Blake, Julie Farkas, the arms merchant, Old Lady Gibson, Dr. Ada Strauss, Chat, Doc Mitchell. And it's time! With the ridiculous amount of miscellaneous items that I've looted throughout this run, I'm finally gonna craft some toys for the endgame.
Someone cooked here.
Nuka grenades, fat mines, bottle cap mines, MFC clusters, and grenades, time bombs. It's all pretty much the cream of the crop.
Hi there. Sticking around Good Springs for a while longer?
Actually, yes, I can't just leave Doc Mitchell to rot after what he's done for me. And what if I need a doctor that I can trust? Most importantly, I want to put some of my new toys to the test. Sonny, she knows the powder gangers aren't going anywhere, so she's in. Trudy, I cannot convince. Not without reading a magazine. A La Fantoma later, and I can now make a great argument, it seems. Chet's a piece of shit that will not get 1,000 caps out of me. If his buddies die, then they die. As for Easy Pete, he never met anyone so prolific with explosives, so he's gonna lend us his stash. And Doc Mitchell doesn't need convincing. Asking for extra supplies in case someone gets wounded is enough. So I go back to Ringo, and it's always funny that none of this is timed. The courier helping Ringo is canon for Goodsprings getting attacked. Joko simply won't do it unless we give the okay to Ringo. Sunny then shows up, I give the motherfucking sea clusters a go, and that's overpowered. Okay, let's try something else. I haven't tried Sleepy Time yet, and I didn't get a chance either. Goodsprings is safe. Ringo's thankful, and by going back to the Crimson Caravan, once he arrives there, we can get some extra caps. Not that I'll need them, so I'm just gonna go back to Cottonwood Cove. I tell the Cullis to start rowing, the gate guy tells me to start disarming. And here in the fort, I can flex my science some more. Kaiser's integrated who knows how many tribes, and yet I'm the one telling Siri how healing powder works. Their most common healing item, and she has been wasting ingredients this whole time? Damn! And then comes Kaiser, listing all of the achievements that I know that I did, cause I'm me. Oddly enough, he doesn't address that I am the Khan's chieftain now. But he sure goes on about his lifelong dream of feeling the ground shake. And sitting pretty to his left, alright, is Benny. He can wait. Next up, the weather monitoring station where
I am the one who knocks.
Using the platinum chip gets us into the Securitron bunker where Mr. House is extremely salty. The only person he invited to visit him in over 200 years to the Lucky 38 has spurned his invitation. Skill issue. But I do agree to do things his way and to use the chip to upgrade the Securitron army. I have been enjoying using explosives, and I do have a couple pulse mines. Those are only useful against robots, so I set one up. And a tedious, long, like ridiculous time-wasting long walk from the first Protectron finally triggered it. And because I can, I use the terminal that deactivates the turrets to deactivate the turrets. I decided to keep on using that gun to have the most ammo possible for Sleepy Time. And in no time, the Securitron army under the fort has been upgraded to their Mark II. That triggered level 12, I got guns to 100, put the rest of the points towards science, and maxed out the Demolition Expert perk to its final rank. Going back, Baldy's all happy and giggly.
I felt the ground shake a while ago.
Our reward is actually a task, to choose Benny's fate. He was curious about what we found down there, but knowing the douche, I would rather blue ball him and keep him guessing. Oh, and he's going on across. Don't know why he's complaining, he's getting a much better view than he gave us. Look at it. It's quite beautiful.
I got nothing to say to you.
As I was going to the Lucky 38, an NTR trooper showed up with an invitation from Ambassador Crocker, and I do not care about Crocker. Instead, I nod to Victor, go in, sell the 2 snow globes I gathered to Jane for 4,000 caps, and deliver the platinum chip to Mr. House. We go over the unskippable Securitron upgrade demonstration, and the game just returns the platinum chip to you, even though there's no point in the courier having it anymore. So I'm gonna use it on the 2 terminals that were keeping me from meeting Robert Edwin in person. Level 13 comes about. I put the points in science, 'cause science! And I bring out everyone's favorite cyborg mummy out of his pod. And that's when I decide to test something completely unrelated to the run, but well within its parameters. I read that if you shoot out the dynamite you throw, it won't count as an in-game kill. Whether that's true or not, I wouldn't know. None of the sticks I tried this with took House down. That gun did. And so I went straight to Yes Man, told me that Benny's plan is now my plan and that he should go ahead and make himself cozy at the Lucky 38. Once he catches up, he lets me know that Kimball's about to visit Hooverdam and that there's an assassination plot against him. A problem. Just not for me, so I ignore that and move into putting the final piece of the puzzle into place. To install an override chip in the Eldorado substation. So I go back to the 188, get there, and the NCR tells me that I can do whatever I want except going into the control room. And things didn't exactly pan out. So in the second attempt, I just made the run for it, installed the chip, got out, saw the level prompt, used the stimmy, maxed science, put the rest of the points into repair, took the toughness perk, and really? No one came out? No one cares? Hey, if I can just fast travel back, then that's exactly what I'm gonna do. No complaints. Back to Yes Man, and he tells me that the Legion's now making a move towards the second battle of Hooverdam. And if you can and want, you can make a move for that join button to help support these challenges. In the dam, it's finally time to test all the fun toys I've been collecting. So many explosions, and this time the cons are coming with, instead of looking like fools. I even went into the sniper tower just to try and see how far I can get the cons. Not that I'll make it imperative, it was just out of curiosity, but yeah, it's Sleepy Time. frags cleared up the rest of the western bit of the dam, and in the offices I put down a ton of mines. I used that gun to drive the NCR heavy troopers, and I one-shot the first guy. Fucking hell! After all that effort, I just let the second dude come up to me, and he did. As in, he didn't die from the mines. Oh, great. He also caught me needing to reload, so couple steam packs, sleepy time, and we're good. I installed the final override chip, this time to grant Yes Man control of the dam. I told him to send power to the fort so our Securitron army can show up. Turned the switch and kept on going. On the eastern side, the frags kept on doing everything. And in the Legate's camp, the MFCs reigned supreme. And since I had a stealth boy left, I used it, went past the second guy you normally fight, took down the Power Fist bros, and embarrassingly was unable to reverse pickpocket the guy. I still got him though. Now it's time for Lenny's, and I've got a fuck ton of mine, so I'ma pile everything. Everything. And I'm gonna use sleepy time to draw him to me. I can use the detonator to set it off since there was some C4 alongside it. And can you, oh for fuck's sake. He did survive that with so much health, and I'm the one that's dead. Great. Second attempt, I used a couple holy frags, the stash exploded, he somehow came at me with even more health, and I went down again. Third attempt, I remembered to heal, and that medics doesn't count towards scams, it's just aid, so I healed. Tried it again, and oh come on, one. Holy frag did it. After all that work stacking the mine. And those are gone too, by the way. The explosion got it.
Yes! Hell yeah!
Then, and as I got to the last man standing, I kid you not, I spent a solid minute throwing grenades. Guess that he's as stubborn as I am. And surprisingly, I eventually got him. And he also remembered to take care of the sniper that didn't bother coming after me. And here comes General Lee Oliver, doing the slowest of vlogs, going over pretty much every single swear word of the English language. The cigar is a lie, but the grenade up his ass was very, very true. The Securitrons did the rest. I tried soft-locking myself again, Yes Man had none of it, and so... Can you beat Fallout New Vegas as Walter White? Of course you can. As always, you can check the playlists for more challenges and the channel for more videos. And I'd like to give a big shout out to Steve Whittle and to John Walker for their support of the channel, and to you. So, thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, I hope I'll see you on the next one. And I hope you have a good one. Bye.
And I guess I'll see you around. We accomplished a lot together. It was fun. Take care.